Hi, Dennis Weiss, Eagle Communications. Welcome to Clay Center Now. And I'm here because this is a special program and we're going to talk about something fun. Got a couple of new friends today. Got Scott Glaves and we have Garrett Payne, Public Utilities Commission, Clay Center Zookeeper, and you're both sitting there because you have an association. And that is this, that the Public Utilities Commission has been very important to the history, long history of having a zoo in Clay Center and all the benefits that brought the community. Correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
It is, yeah.
For somebody who's never heard that before, give us a little history. Clay Center, our zoo, and the Public Utilities Commission.
For those that aren't from Clay Center, the zoo started back in the 1950s, about the mid-50s. Started with a pair of ducks down there that had babies. Two ducks.
Say it at our house.
Yep, two ducks. It was two ducks. Through the 50s, that's kind of how it started. There was just waterfall down there in the mill race where the water would come down the creek from the old power plant. Then as it got into the 60s, it became a rescue, if you will. Wildlife and Parks would bring in injured animals that were hit by a car, and we would take care of them, and some of them would stay down there, some would be rehabilitated and relocated. Then as time went on, the commission added on a little bit here and there and started exhibiting more animals. And then through the years, it's kind of grown until we got to where we are today. You know, if you're not from Clay Center, I'll try to make this short, the story, how we got here. About 2 years ago, we came to a crossroad with the zoo. You know, we were to the point our facilities were running down. We knew we needed to do something. The commission has always supported the zoo. Financially, it's never been an issue to run the zoo, to maintain the zoo, but we knew there was no way we could come up with the funds to build the new zoo. Basically to kind of reset and start over with a new facility. And so we had a town hall meeting, and you know, the commission said, well, we need to do something, so let's get the community's input. And honestly, I was blown away. It was a full house. We had about 300 people there that night, and everybody was unanimously in support of the zoo. And I think it goes back to its long-standing tradition. You know, we've got great grandkids coming to the zoo now. And I think it's part of our community, and it's become part of our community. And I think the biggest thing is it's a no-cost zoo. So everybody can enjoy it. There's always somewhere to take the kids or somewhere to go to get away from things. And it's nice to go down to the park and go to the zoo. We have a lot of school districts throughout the year that use the zoo and the utility park. Say, for example, they come from Beloit or further west. They stop here at the halfway point if they're going to Manhattan or Topeka. And in the springtime, the amount of kids we have down there is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
And they're, you know, they've got room to roam, eat their lunch. You know, it's a neat deal. But, you know, the community really stood behind this project, so we started campaigning. You know, we needed to fundraise. You know, the original goal was about $2 million, which that's a pretty lofty goal. Where we came in, when we finished, we were about $425,000. You know, the commission gave us kind of a 3-month deadline to see what we could raise. The commission felt if we'd raise that much in 3 months, if we continued those fundraising endeavors, we could meet our goal. To this day, we're still fundraising. You know, as of right now, we're at about $475,000 is what we've raised, and that's the funds we have to spend on the new zoo. So that kind of changed the original plan. You know, in a perfect world, we would have got $3 or $4 million and it'd be built and we'd be down there taking a tour of it right now.
Yes, we would.
But, you know, we did the best we could, and we thank the community. There was a lot of business made donations, a lot of people here locally, a lot of people from outside of Clay Center made donations, and they all add up. And you know, we want to utilize those dollars and do as much of the work ourselves, you know, so we can keep the costs low and stretch those dollars as far as we can.
It's such a unique story. There's not many communities your size, our size, that have a zoo and have had it since the 1950s. I think both of those things are pretty unique.
Mm-hmm. Very unique. And then the other thing that really makes it unique is it's no cost. You know, that's something that you know, everybody wins there. And we've had a lot of questions, why don't you charge money? And the commission is always taken the stance that there will never be a fee at the zoo, and I support that. You know, as long as I'm here and have a say in it, that will never happen.
I came to Kansas in 1992, and the job I had, I traveled around on behalf of IBM selling hardware and called on a lot of cities and counties and businesses here in Clay Center. So I was at a lunchtime one day, and I always look for a new place to not just go sit at a restaurant, you know. Mm-hmm. So I saw the sign, and I picked up a burger and fries and a drink and drove down in the park, and there was a zoo. Mm-hmm. And I was amazed. Yeah. I go, how can they have a zoo? This is just a small town America. How they have a real zoo there? And I've enjoyed it many times since. I went home and told my wife, and mm-hmm. we were homeschooling kids, and said, gosh, you need to take the kids up on a field trip to the Clay Center Zoo. It's a great story. We're going to talk to Garrett a little bit about what goes on at the zoo and what he has there to see and enjoy, but first we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
You're invited to come visit, shop, and spend some time in beautiful Clay Center, Kansas. A Full House, located at 510 Dexter in Clay Center, is your upscale rent-to-own store with the lowest prices guaranteed. They only carry high-quality name-brand products that are made to last. At A Full House, they put the customer first by offering free delivery and setup of all merchandise, free relocation while renting their products, free loaner services, and the best price guaranteed. Stop into A Full House today for all your home furnishing needs. Shop beautiful Clay Center today and find what you've been looking for.
At Eagle Communications, we're proud to provide the communications services you need to get the most from today's technology. Our employee owners make it happen. We're part of your community, and we take pride in delivering excellent customer service. If you ever have a question, give us a call. We're here to help. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Hi, Dennis Weiss, back. Clay Center now. We're talking about the zoo today. Such a unique place, Garrett, here in Clay Center. And because that's your job, to run that facility, so you get to enjoy it every day from two ends. One, you get to see it just like the visitors, but you also get to enjoy the responsibility of making sure it's well taken care of.
It's correct. It's correct.
So tell us a little bit about what a zookeeper does in a community the size of Clay Center.
Well, the majority of the day is cleaning and food prep, really, is
Sure.
what it is.
That's
you know,
any animal care, isn't it? Cleaning
yeah,
and food
pretty
prep.
Much. Yeah, there's a big misconception that you just get to play with animals all day, mm-hmm. But that's really not it. It's a lot of cleaning and a lot of food prep is mm-hmm. what goes on. And even though we're not a huge facility and we don't have a lot of animals, I mean, there's still quite a bit that goes on.
Mm-hmm. You have a leopard.
We do have a leopard.
Not too many leopards running around Kansas on their own, you know, out in the wild, where I could just drive out in the country and see one.
No, definitely not. And especially because ours is a black leopard too, which is
mm-hmm.
a little bit more rare.
Yeah.
We're very lucky to have something like that, in this town.
You can tell me if I'm wrong, but we may turn the camera off if you do. So you just take your risk here.
Okay.
But I think it's interesting to see the value of being able to see animals that you wouldn't see otherwise in a zoo to society overall. I think there's something to be said for the preservation of the black color-phased leopards of the mm-hmm. world, to raise that interest all over the world by the fact you can see one in Clay Center, Kansas. Yeah. I think that's significant.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we all have everything right here on our little phone in front of us today, and you can theoretically see everything you want to see. Mm-hmm. Not really. You can't see it 6 foot away.
No.
And see the muscles ripple under the skin as it moves. And a leopard, particularly, they have to be one of the most athletic 4-footed things God ever created. Mm-hmm. So, but the value of seeing it here, I think, has an incredible payback to society, and it starts in Clay Center.
It does. And like you were talking about, the way muscles and things move underneath the skin, like you said, it's not something you can see, doing a Google search and looking at it or something like that. Yeah. And another thing is, watching the way the light hits it. they actually have a pattern to them like a normal leopard would. You know, when you see it at a distance or something like that, or a picture, you don't really see that. But when you're down there that close and you're looking at the animal as he moves and the sun hits him, you can see all those spots and things on him like that. Or, you know, you can listen to an audio file of, you know, what it sounds, you know, the sounds they make. But it's a lot different when you're standing there in person and you start hearing him chuff and you hear just how loud and deep that is, and you know, you can feel it in you.
I have a story for you. You'll appreciate this. So I went to college in upstate New York, was up there working on my uncle's farm, putting myself through college. And so me and my buddy, my roommate, who was also from Colorado, were driving down the road one day going to find a gun shop. Had to drive a long ways from Rochester to find a proper gun shop. So we're driving down the road and I go, there's 2 lions in a pen over there. He said, no. I said, yeah, there's 2 lions over there, African lions in a pen. And so I turned around, a little 2-lane road, went back. There was a big, nice pen, roof, and there were 2 male African lions in this pen. And we got out and walked over in front of it and stood there. Must have been feeding time, because they were looking right past us at the house. And I was standing there talking to my friend, and they roared because, hey, it's feeding time. I'm pretty sure that's what was going on. Anyway, like you said, it's different to hear it. But when the sound goes through you, I mean, through you, those sound waves, you feel that.
You can feel them in your chest.
You can feel the tip of his tail come out over his vocal cords through that massive body. That gives you an understanding of the African lion that you would never get on Google.
No, that's correct.
Yeah, very cool. So, you know, since 1950s, the fact that Clay Center as a community has been dedicated to the preservation of this zoo. That's a cool thing, and anybody's, we're at the Clay County Economic Development Office, Chamber of Commerce office. People like this are wildly ecstatic about the fact that your community's passionate about the preservation of this zoo, and you've raised pretty close to $500,000 to make sure it continues.
And that's a fact. I mean, it's exciting. You know, just talking about the leopard, the first exhibit to go in is the leopard and the bear exhibit, and it'll give us a chance to show the animals off a little more. The exhibits are going to be large, natural habitat, grass. We're going to have a lot of rock in the exhibits for them to climb around on. There'll be shade. There'll be things to climb on. So we're excited, and you know, in our opinion, that's the way it should be. But I think it's going to be really, really neat for Clay Center. But as we get going and people can see where we're headed, you know, it's going to be awesome. I'm excited about it.
You know, we're sitting behind us here is a whole bunch of graphics about Clay Center. I wish we had one of your zoo design up there, but maybe you can send us a JPEG or something we'll put up over my face about now. But the reality of it is this is going to be built in phases. You're doing the important things first.
Sure. And
then plan 2 and then plan 3, and depending on what the community wants years from now, continuing to grow and to change.
Exactly. Yeah, and we want to stretch our dollars as far as we can with what we have now, and we'll do that. We'll get as far as we can go, but our fundraising won't continue to stop. We still have a lot of events planned coming up this year, and I'd like to take a little bit of time just to thank Clay Center, to thank the businesses, everybody, lemonade stands. I mean, it's everybody's chipped in because it's a big issue here. It really is. Like I said, I was overwhelmed with the support, phone calls, emails. I mean, people just came out of the woodwork in support of the zoo and donated money. And you know, we want to make sure we do it right. And we're going to get started here really quick, moving forward with sewer lift station and the utility work. And I'm optimistic. I'd like to have the first exhibit open this spring, and hopefully the main buildings open this spring as well. But we'll see how things can go. Weather, equipment, that stuff all kind of slows the schedule down. So.
Okay. Here in just a little bit, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I want you to just go through step 1, 2, 3 so people can get some sequence of how this is going to happen, and give them some insight on what's going to happen over the next few months and the rest of the year. We'll be back in just 1 minute.
Around here, we believe in local values like hard work, family time, or a fair price on reliable internet from a local company. That's why Eagle Communications delivers great local values, like a range of internet options to fit your family's needs. Fast and consistent enough to power everyone's devices at once. All at reasonable prices we're proud to offer our friends and neighbors. Ready for better internet? Give us a call or visit eaglecom.net and discover our local values today.
At Eagle Communications, we deliver what matters to your business. Our services are fast, reliable, secure, and competitively priced, giving you more value for your hard-earned business dollar. With Eagle Communications, you're not just another number, you're part of our business family. And we deliver peace of mind with local technicians who provide dedicated system monitoring and support. Connect to something better. Call Eagle Communications and let's talk about what matters to your business.
Dennis Weiss back with a couple of new friends talking zoo and Clay Center, and a lot of fun for me. But what I want you to do, Scott, is to walk us through the phases as the plan stands today for improving and maintaining and preserving a zoo in Clay Center, Kansas.
Okay. The first phase, originally we had the architect rendering, which I'll get you a copy of that. Kind of had the exhibits laid out. A lot of things have changed. We did relocate some animals to make room for construction, so we don't have a lot of those exhibits that were set up. We don't have those animals anymore. So we've kind of moved where the main building was at, and we've made it a little bit bigger, and for several reasons, for food prep, also for our birds in the winter. We have to house some of those animals inside during the winter, but it gives Garrett more working space for our food prep, food storage, and then also all the animals we need to house over the winter. So the first phase will consist of the main building and then the bear and leopard exhibit.
Okay.
And that's my goal, and hopefully by spring, both of those, I hope to have the bear and leopard exhibit open by spring. The main building, we'll see how things go this winter.
And before the cameras came on, you made it clear to me that the main building is more than just a main building, because you are putting the ability of sanitary facilities down there for humans.
Correct.
For the first time.
Sure.
So that's water to wash your hands and a place to use a restroom and all the infrastructure that it takes to make that happen. And that's quite a lot of work.
It is. And another thing it will accommodate, we also have our 9 acres of walking trails behind the zoo, which we have a lot of people utilizing that now, and it's the same problem. There's no bathroom up there. So this building would allow accessibility for people to use the restroom, wash their hands, which is invaluable for us, because otherwise it's a long walk to the south end.
All the way, all the way back to the entrance.
We have a mother with young child sitting over here in the background, because we heard the story a little bit ago. A park is not a park if it doesn't have a bathroom if you got 3 little kids.
That's fact.
A park is a problem. That's what they are. But a park with a bathroom is a great opportunity to go to the park. Yeah,
it is. And so it's going to help a lot of different things, but we've needed that up there for a long time.
Sure.
And it's going to take a little bit of work, engineering to get the lift station where we need it to be, but it's needed, and we're going to move forward and get it done.
And the bear and the leopard exhibit, both of those are different grades of confinement. It's not the same place, kind of a place you have to keep the peacock.
No.
Different animals require different structure. So I imagine those are your most intensive bills to make sure you had a good, safe, pleasant environment for a bear and a leopard. Has to be a big deal.
Yes, it is. We are working with the USDA as we design these enclosures and things as well. Our inspector's been very helpful. Once we get a more concrete plan as far as, okay, this is exactly what we're going to build here. She wants us to send her copies of that. She can take a look and make notes and tell us if there's anything that needs changed or what we need to do, or if it's good. They also have access to a big cat specialist that was going to look over the designs for the leopard enclosure and things like that as well. So there are a lot of assets that we can use as we go along with this, and I think the main thing that we're trying to accomplish here is to do it right and do it right the first time. So it's not something that has to be revisited in the future.
Yeah.
You know, and something that's gonna hold up much better than.
So, you know, as without getting into the weeds, because weeds don't show very well on TV, but the reality of it is this is an evolving thing. I mean, the regulations change over time. You just have to adapt to them as time goes by. But the design of a good, safe, pleasant enclosure for the animal, that probably is not going to change very much. Just the barrier stuff between you, the animal, and the people, that may change as regulations change. But the investment that the community is making, Scott, into making sure that we can give Garrett what he needs to take care of those animals, that's remarkable.
It is.
A place the size of Clay Center.
It is, and like I said before, the community of Clay Center has been so generous, and I mean, just sometimes you got to stop and just thank the people and appreciate, because it's you know, it's personal to a lot of people, and the amount of donations, I've got files that thick of all of our records of all the donations. And it's sometimes you just sit there and you're in awe, because it's a lot of money, you know, that's been donated. And to kind of reiterate on first phase, you know, when we get those 2 buildings, we're going to continue to fundraise. Phase 2 will probably incorporate our lemur exhibit and monkey exhibit. They'll probably share the same building, not nearly the cost of the bear and the leopard facility. And then also, we've got a lot of stuff that it won't be as much cost, the bird exhibit. And we just had a donation. A lady in Nebraska donated a military macaw and a blue and gold macaw. And
a blue-fronted Amazon, and then can't remember for sure what kind of conure it is. Some type of conure. It's a small parrot. But yes, it's a very wonderful donation of birds. She was to the point where she was unable to take care of them anymore with some health issues, and the birds had been together for so long, she was having a hard time finding a place that would take all 4 of them. You know, someplace, well, we'll take this one, or we'll take that one, or no, we don't want them. And so she really wanted them all to go somewhere, and we did have an empty cage down there that would work perfect for that. And so we were happy to help her out and take those in, and I think it's a great addition. I mean, Mo, the big white cockatoo that we had that everyone loves. He's quite the hit down there. He's so popular that, I mean, it was just a wonderful opportunity to get that and add some more in there. And we've had quite a few visitors that come down specifically just to look at the parrots. You know, they'll wander in, they'll look, and then they'll go back out. I mean, that's why they come down. They love looking at that. So it was really nice getting those in.
You know, if you don't mind me suggesting, and you don't disagree, you can feel free, but you did that lady a service by taking her birds.
We did.
And providing them a home. But you also did those birds a favor by giving them a home to be able to stay together and give them access to people who can come in and enjoy them. You know, that's our husbandry of these animals, and there's a lot to be said. He gave me the 1 minute mark, so we don't have forever to say it, but you know, this zoo does provide a service to not only the people of Clay Center, but to the animals in your care, the protection, and the educational value that animal is providing to us, the people, about how they live and why they live in the wild, and all of those things. Very tightly interwoven, but it's all good. Everybody's nodding. That must have been okay, Dave.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're out of time.
Sure.
Give them a number to call you, Scott, because you're leading the project.
Sure. Yeah, you can contact Scott Glaves at Clay Center Public Utilities at 785-632-2139 or 632-2137. But I'm generally available. If I'm on the other line, we'll take a message and I'll call you back. But I'd be happy to talk with anybody about the project.
Okay.
So
He'll be happy to have a little money if you want to share it for the benefit of the future generations to enjoy the Clay Center Zoo. He'd probably be happy to have a little help. They got a lot of work to do down there, and I'd be happy just to hear what you have to say about Clay Center. It's a long history with the zoo and what the future should look like. Anything else, guys, before we leave?
I would just like to say thank you to the town, because without the people here, none of this would be possible.
Okay.
That's big thank you to everyone from Clay Center and the surrounding areas and everyone that supports us.
Okay, I'm Dennis Weiss. I work for Eagle Communications. Today I'm working for Clay Center Now. So tickled to bring you this program here on Eagle Local TV. We hope you have a great day.